Welcome to the Inspiring Women of Iowa podcast, a special series amplifying the stories of the Inspiring Women of Iowa finalists. Inspiring Women of Iowa is an annual event hosted by Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa with the goal of celebrating women of courage, confidence, and character who are making the world a better place. And why does that sound familiar? Well, because it also happens to be the mission of the Girl Scouts, where they believe society is better because strong women show girls that anything is possible. This event was created by Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa in 2017 to celebrate women in our community and share their stories, while raising support for the Girl Scout programs that build the next generation of inspiring women. 16 individuals are celebrated annually with the Courage, Confidence, Character, and Inspiring Advocate for Women Awards. I'm your host, Teresa Peterson, Caramel Delight enthusiast, and I'm honored to have the chance to speak with these amazing, inspiring women and to share their stories with you. Joining me today is Gabrielle Vasquez, the owner and founder of Vasquez Law Office. Gabrielle is an attorney, a mediator, and a community builder. She's been nominated for this year's Character Award. Welcome, Gabrielle.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what we should know about you and your work.
Okay, well, that's a pretty broad question, so I'll try to keep it short and tight. But I grew up in Puerto Rico, and I was there through high school. I went from there to Princeton in New Jersey, and then Fordham Law School in New York City, and started working there as an attorney in 2007. I stayed there until 2019, and I worked primarily on commercial litigation matters, so business-to-business disputes. I was the kind of lawyer that went to court, and everything that revolves around that. So a lot of it is preparation for court, avoiding court, and getting people out of court. But that's sort of how I cut my teeth in the law. And then in 2019, I moved to Des Moines, Iowa, which is where I am now. And I have a beautiful 9-year-old daughter. And a large reason why we moved is because of the community and the family-centric lifestyle in Iowa that we knew from family and friends who were out here. And I just haven't looked back since. So in August 2025, so almost exactly 6 months ago, I decided to separate from my New York law firm at the time, where I had been working remotely for 10 years, and launched my own practice. That's Vasquez Law Office here in Iowa. We still service New York City. Our focus is business law. And it's been amazing to really dive into my community. I had the unfortunate timing of landing here right before the pandemic, so I didn't really get out for a long time. So there might be some confusion about whether I just arrived or not. I've been here for about 6 years, but finally sort of stepping out, and the community has been so warm and supportive, and I could never have imagined that, and that's really been a blessing.
Something you were saying stuck out to me moving from Puerto Rico to Princeton, and something I was reading about you is your desire to make every room inclusive. How did that look and feel for you making that cultural change? That feels through my eyes like that would be pretty significant, but how did it look and feel to you? And what does that mean to create spaces, and how can all of us create those spaces that are more inclusive?
That's a great question, Teresa. I'd say that it was shocking at first, and my family did try to prepare me. I come from a family with many generations of highly educated folks and professionals. And so, before I landed at Princeton, my mom tried to explain what it would be like to be the only Puerto Rican person in the room. And I had no idea what that really meant. Even though she said it, I didn't know what that would feel like. And having grown up in Puerto Rico, we were all Puerto Rican for the most part. There were some people that were international that would end up there, but it was definitely a culture shock to arrive at Princeton and look around and really not have very many people that had shared experiences or even looked like me. There was a very small population of Latinos in general, even smaller Puerto Rican background, and even smaller than that, people from Puerto Rico who had actually grown up on the island. So,
Mm,
it was definitely shocking, and it took me some time to, I'd say, find my identity in a place where I didn't have a collective identity. And so that, I think, has informed sort of how I view teams, group, community. It is really a question of who is the individual, what's important and valuable to them, not just in the room they're in, but in the totality of their life. And
mm,
so having experienced that firsthand and having to go through that exploratory process has definitely been a big part of my journey. And it didn't stop my first year at Princeton, right? Because I continued to enter rooms that were even less inclusive, right? So I went from Puerto Rico, where I was in the majority and it was very diverse within that, to Princeton, where I was a minority, and then go to law school. That was even more so. Like, so women and Latinos and other minorities sort of incrementally, there are less of us as you move up in terms of
mm,
education and career. So entering a white shoe law firm, which is what we call those New York old school law firms, was even more so the case. And then, frankly, moving to Iowa was also a big culture shock. Despite being in a profession in New York City that was very white male dominated,
mhm.
I was also in New York City, which is very diverse, and there are a lot of different cultures around. And here in Iowa, obviously, that's a different equation. So
Yeah.
it's been a process, and definitely a motivation for me to start my own law firm. I think a part of me was really looking for a place that felt like holistic, home, caring. And ultimately, I kind of looked around and said,
Mhm.
oh, wait, I can do all of these things, almost all of them. And the ones I can't, I can hire someone. So I'm just going to create it. And that's where we are, creating a place that young professionals of different backgrounds can thrive and not be taken advantage of.
Yeah. I mean, there was so much wisdom in what you were saying, especially that last part really stuck with my heart. Like, how do you thrive and thrive within healthy boundaries, right? And thrive and not be taken advantage of? That
Yeah.
feels very significant, especially for young professionals.
Yeah.
Share with us something in that story and your work now. What are you really proud of?
Oh, interesting. Gosh. I think I'm most proud of the relationships that I have fostered and maintained. And, I think in general, it's funny because I actually think about I was a Girl Scout too. I'm actually three or four generations in Girl Scouts in our family
That's
now.
amazing.
Yeah, my grandmother was a leader and a camp director. My mom was a Girl Scout and my aunt as well. And then I did it and my mom was our leader. And then now my daughter's also a Girl Scout. So it's a lot.
This is
Uh,
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. But there's like a song that we used to sing, and I think they still do. And it just talks about friendships and it says summer silver and summer gold. And
Hmm.
so it's like make new friends, but keep the old summer silver, summer gold. And so there are friendships and relationships in our lives that are for a moment, but they are still incredibly valuable in that moment. But then there are others that last a long time and everything kind of has its own place in our life, and we don't always
Yeah.
know going into it what the duration or the intensity will be. But I feel strongly that one of the things I've done well in my life is to genuinely care about people, and that
Mm,
always trying to do my best by them. And the truth is that is a heart thing. It's not necessarily what's projected. And I'm in a difficult profession as a litigator. I have an
yeah.
adversary every single time.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that can be perceived I can be perceived as the enemy, and that's a really hard thing for me personally. Like, I don't like when people think of me that way, but it is part of my practice. I do approach my practice in a caring way, just like in my life and towards my employees and staff and coworkers and even opposing counsel. Like, I always try to do my best. That doesn't mean I always get it right, and it also doesn't mean that people perceive it that way all the time. But from a heart
Yeah.
perspective, I know I'm coming from it in the most caring possible way.
There's something about that. I love that summer silver, summer gold, but that sense of no matter how long this relationship lasts, maybe it's a minute, maybe it's a decade, right? That we can be good to one another, that we can be
Yeah.
human to one another. There's
Yeah.
something that feels so right about that. I want to
Absolutely.
ask you another question. I read um, one of the things you love is making conversations more thoughtful or engaging in conversations that are more thoughtful. What makes a thoughtful conversation in your eyes? Like, tell me about people you love chatting with. Like, what do they have in common? What are those thoughtful moments or
Yeah.
characteristics?
Oh, that's another good one, and you're right. I love meeting people, and I think a lot of the folks in Iowa, I think, have appreciated and noticed that about me, that I genuinely
Yeah.
want to have those connections with them, whether something's coming of it or not. Like, I'm not very, purposeful in the sense of, "Oh, I'm meeting you because I wanna do business with you." I come into every conversation wanting to know who that person is. And so a big part of that is cutting through the layers that we've built up over time that are sometimes protective layers, sometimes they're just tradition. Maybe we
Hmm.
grew up and were told we had to make a certain image. Maybe we went to law school and were told that we had to look a certain way or act a
Yeah.
certain way in order to be in certain places and in certain rooms. So I think and I've been told that I have a, like, disarming quality that people sort of open up easily and start, going a little bit deeper pretty quickly. And I think in large part there might be some intangible to that, but I do think in large part it's because of the intention coming in to
Mm.
just I just wanna know you. I wanna know what's gonna be good for you. Just this morning, I was at an interview. We're interviewing for, our law firm's growing. And so, I've had 2 positions now that I've hired for. This is the second one, and in both of them, a significant part of the interview is me asking them, what do you want? Like, I really truly wanna know. Like, and I'm not saying,
Yeah.
"Give me your 3 to 5-year goal." No, no, like, what would make
Yeah.
your next step in your career just, like, amazing, the cherry on top? Like, what is that? What does it feel like? What does it look like? I think
Mm.
they're surprised to hear that because, yeah, people are used to the, "Tell me your goals for the next 3 years," but there's something different about the quality of it where I'm telling you, like, "I just wanna know, like, what would be fantastic for you in 5 to 10 years, and let's work on that," right? Like, I refuse to go out
Yeah.
or at least so far I've been able to refuse to go out there and find someone to match a box that I have decided needs to be filled at the firm. Instead, we're really coming at it from a people perspective. Let's find great people who have the right character, alignment, values with us,
Mm.
energy, and who are gonna really thrive, and then we'll place them within our company where it makes sense, right? Part of that is being, I guess, a startup stage, so we have that
Mhm.
flexibility and everyone's doing a
Mhm.
bit of everything, but I really hope we can keep that going. I never wanna treat humans as a commodity or, a plug that serves my purpose. Even if that purpose is noble, there
Mm.
is something more deeper in the essence of each human that needs to be honored and valued. And so that's really how we're coming at it in terms of hiring. And that's kind of how I come into all conversations. Like, people aren't just a dollar, they're not just a wallet or a check that they're looking for me to sign over to me or whatever, or they're not just a plug on the media. They've got so much going on with them. And the most interesting thing about them might not be the check. And it might not
Yeah.
be the publicity. It might be something about who they are as a person or the difficulties they may have faced, and I might be able to help, which is even better.
Yeah. There is no substitute for just that genuine connection, right? When you're just like,
I agree.
You and me, just here it is, face to face. Like, who are you? Let's just dig in, and the rest will happen or it won't, but we'll enjoy learning about each other along the way. I
I
love
agree.
that.
And if it's not a
Yeah.
fit, like, there's some element of this that's inherent in everything in business too, like, and in life. Like,
Yeah.
we're all out there trying to figure out who's the right match for this position
Yeah.
or if you're dating or whatever. Like, we all go through that, but it's different to just approach it from a perspective of, like, I wanna know what's good for you, and if it's also good for me, we're gonna go do it together,
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
trying to wedge each other into spaces that might not fit us properly.
Yeah. Um, um, this is just a random question. Favorite Girl Scout cookie? Do you have a favorite? Current or past
Yeah,
favorite?
my current is the Adventurefuls. That's the, like, chocolate with salted caramel. Love that one.
Oh,
I have not tried the new
yeah.
one, and I just got a text message from our cookie leader that she wants to drop off cookies. We just got our first deliveries happening today, and we get to go out and
Yes.
deliver, and there's a new one that I haven't tried, the Explore More, which I think is like a play on s'mores, but with maybe an almond twist, so that might end up being a contender, but yeah, that's my favorite. My daughter loves the lemonades too, which I think you can't go wrong with either.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
Though I tell you, toss those in the freezer, have them in the summer.
Yeah.
That's heaven.
I know, they go on forever, but yeah, I'm a sucker for salty sweet, so, like, sweet and sour anything, like, savory with a touch of honey, like, give me
Mm.
that Iowa pizza with the honey crust. Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. Now
That
this
was one of
is
the cool things about Iowa, and it's funny coming from
yeah.
New York, where New York believes it's, like, the center of pizza, but I think I saw somewhere that Iowa actually consumes the most pizza in the United States, maybe even the world,
Yeah,
and the honey crust is yeah, that's a nice touch.
a honey crust.
Mhm.
Phew. Okay, we're coming to the end of our time, but I want to ask you, now that we've gotten through the really important stuff, how do you stay inspired?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think, like, just surrounding myself with other people that have done the work, either done the work or maybe even been raised this way, that they can really dig deeper. I tend to find that people have to do that work because just generational differences, but
Yep.
just finding people that have dug deep enough to know what's important to them and who have had the courage to go out into the world that's not made for that and
Mm,
just still live in that. Even if it's not perfect, it's not ideal, it might not make you the most money or the most prestige, but that's what drives you. Like, I just love that energy. And it might not be the same
mm,
kind of thing that drives me, but there's a certain quality. And I find a lot of that in entrepreneurs, which is why I love working with businesses as a lawyer. Like, the people who are entrepreneurial have usually found that thing recently and are
yeah.
diving in with all of their talents and skills and network and everything. And it's like, that energy, that's inspirational to me, where it's like, you didn't fit. Your
Mm,
model didn't fit. Maybe it had never been created. And so you're just going to do it yourself.
yeah.
That's awesome energy. It's contagious and I want it. I want to bottle it up.
Let's figure out how to bottle it.
Right?
Oh,
Yes.
Gabrielle, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you. We'll see you at the luncheon. I hope we meet again soon.
Thank you. I'll take you for pizza sometime. How about
Yes, extra honey crust.
that? Right? Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you. The 2026 Inspiring Women of Iowa event will be held on May 8th at the Meadows Events and Conference Center. To purchase tickets and get more information about supporting this event, please visit inspiringwomenofiowa.com. All proceeds from this fundraising event stay 100% local to benefit Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa and their mission to build up girls of courage, confidence, and character who will make this world a better place. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support.